Hi. Hello, gamers. Hi. What's going on? Welcome to Thrasher Skate and Destroy. Hello, gamers. Hi. What's going on? Welcome. Ooh, I'm getting feedback here. What's going on? Destroy. What's going on? Welcome. Let me mute this. Okay. I don't know if I've ever streamed yet without technical issues. This one, we got one right off the bat. But regardless, this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy, which is a skateboarding game. And I don't seem to have any sound coming from it. Even though I did when I tested this 5 minutes ago. Hi, Shagadelic John. It's good to see you here. Welcome. Let me see if I can fix this. 1 second. Technical issues off the bat. Let's try this. Did that fix it? It did not. All right, we're going without sound, but that's cool. This game has a great soundtrack, but oh well. Thank you for the mustache comment. So this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy, where you can play as Axel, Carly, Scab, Jasmine, Roach, or Cyrus. And this game served as a point of difference from Tony Hawk. This was like the skater's Tony Hawk. In the PS1 days, Tony Hawk, everyone loved it. It was a revolution. It was a culturally significant video game. And then off to the side, there was this game called Thrasher Skate and Destroy. And this game was focused on simulating skateboarding in a way that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater wasn't. Hi, Jenny. Hello, did you know there was a series of Thrasher Skate compilations in the 80s? I guess not. I don't know what you're referring to. I should look into that. Hi, nice mustache. Thank you, Punky. It's good to see you here. Who developed this? A company called Z-Axis, or Z-Axis, if you're American, who I think also made... what was that game called? What was that? Was it Grind Session? I think they also made Grind Session on PS1, which was also a skateboarding game. And right off the bat, technical issues. We're just going to start this from the top. Oh, we have sound. But it's staticky and horrible. Let me turn that down. There we are. Z-Axis. I'm just going to mute this anyway because there's so much feedback. Okay, Grind Session is by Shiba Games. Maybe there was a game on the PS2 that Z-Axis... Oh, Dave Mirror. That's right. They made Dave Mirror. And Dave Mirror was also sort of weird and heavy feeling in the same way Skate and Destroy was. Music compilations to be specified. I learned about it from music blogs. Thrasher. Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't know that. I was trying to remember who your Tash made you look like. Earl from My Name is Earl. I'll take that. Very thematic considering Jason Lee was a pro skateboarder. Probably at the time this game came out too. So anyway. Technical issues aside, trying this again. Everything worked when I tested it 10 minutes ago. Yeah, BMX Triple X they made as well. This is definitely their best game out of those three, at least. Okay, it's working this time. Does this game have a 64 version with less music and voice effects? No, it doesn't, but Tony Hawk did. So, apologies for no music. But this game, the controls are really sort of... I don't want to say difficult, but difficult is probably the best word for it. So right now I'm holding square and I'm releasing square to do an ollie. And right now I'm holding circle and I'm releasing circle to do a 180. Like that, which was a frontside 180. And now I'm holding circle while I'm in switch and I can do a switch 180, which is backside. And if you hold either circle or triangle with an arrow, it sort of puts a modifier on it. So you can see I'm doing a 360 or a backside 360. I probably need some height to do a backside 360. Yeah, see. Also, Ragdoll Physics, which is fun. And if I hold triangle, I can do flip tricks and use the modifiers to do flip tricks. So there's a fakey kick flip. And if I hold L1 and triangle, it becomes fakey. If I let go, there we go, fakey flip. So the kind of difference here is you almost load up the trick before you start it, which is how skateboarding is. You know, in real life, you don't ollie and then while you're in midair choose to kickflip in the way you do in Tony Hawk. So in this, it's a little more realistic and it's a lot harder. So if I hold L1 and triangle now, it becomes a nollie flip. Beautiful. And so kickflip 50-50 is not on there. Doing like anything in this game is quite difficult. And something interesting about the grinding. So when you ollie, you press A to enter a grind, or X rather. So we'll try and do a 50-50. And then you kind of just balance without a meter, but you know, it's sort of like EA Skate. You just like lean left and right. But if you enter a grind at a weird angle, the you kind of have to counter lean against the angle that you entered the grind at. Like that time I came in at 45, so he was falling away from the grind. Which made everything in this game feel a lot more considered, a lot more realistic, and sort of the skateboarder's skateboarding game when Tony Hawk was kind of like the gamer's skateboarding game, if that made sense. So, if you're just joining us, this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy without sound, because it just stopped working as soon as I started streaming, and I can't get through a stream without technical issues. But I suppose now a nice side effect is this video won't be demonetized from... Oh, look at this, look at this. Can I kickflip out? 180 out onto the ledge. Fascinating. Would this count as real-time strategy? It's strategic and you do things in real time, so yes. Oh, hey, it's my favorite streamer. Thank you. Hey, hey, Alpha Wolf, welcome. It's lovely, lovely, lovely to see you all here. If you're just joining us, this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy, the sort of hipster cool alternative to Tony Hawk on the PS1. So you'll see in the bottom left it says select to start run. And we're going to give that a crack. I actually haven't played this game, aside from like 10 minutes before starting streaming, in about a decade. I always wanted to do a video on it, but then Nakey Jakey made a really fantastic video on it and made all the points that I would have made. So I was like, eh. You know, it'd be redundant. All right, select to start run. Let's give it a try. So now it's starting to score me. And let's see if we can do let's see if we can do like a board slide or something, or a lip. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, no, bad. So everything is like really difficult, which is kind of the same as EA Skate in that way. Like, part of the appeal... Oh my god. Part of the appeal in EA Skate is that everything's really difficult. You kind of just try the same thing over and over again. Can we spam kickflips until we beat the level? Heel flip. Nice. Shove it. Frontside shove it. So in real skateboarding, frontside shove-its are a lot harder than backside shove-its, but in this game, backside shove-it seems to be the default. Shove it 360? Nope, guess not. Let's see if we can do a 50-50, 180 out. Oh, onto the other side of that ledge. That would be hard. Chuck in a switch flip. Lovely. Tuck in a fakey flip. It's just... It's a game that's like, you could tell skaters made it in a way. I don't know. Switch ollie and then stack it, and Ragdoll Physics. Pretty sure I saw this game in a Kid Icarus video. It's a very Kid Icarus-y sort of game. Man, all the skate parks in this game. Man, all the skate parks in these games need wall decor. Yeah, I agree. We got 20 seconds on our run here. Can we do a... Let's get the trick list up. Ollie tricks. Ollie, kickflip, shove it. So you can see down there the controls. And you hold R1, then you hold triangle, then you hold right, and then you let go of everything, and that's how you do the trick, you know? And what that means is, yeah, like someone mentioned, you can't do late tricks, basically. I'm pretty sure late flips aren't in this game. I think tray flips are, but maybe they don't mention them here. There's the grinds. So grabs you can do late. Yeah, I think tray flips are like you combine like different things. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can do a shove at 50-50. I just completely missed the ledge. See, there's not a lot of like magneting to the ledge. It's all very, very... It demands precision. I don't know if there's... Oh. So what you just saw there was the timer ran out, and then a policeman appeared and zapped me. But it all happened so quickly because I stacked it. I like all the hipster cool alternatives I've learned from these streams, like Stolen, Taken, Vampires Kiss, American Psycho, Thrasher Skate, Tony Hawk, Milo Briggs, God of War. Oh, I'm glad. Tommy Hill's amateur skating, kind of. In terms of Bret Easton Ellis novels, Less Than Zero is better than American Psycho. So realistic. Alright, let's give that another try. This time, we'll focus on beating 5,000, which is the score to beat. There's a solid grind. Kickflip out. Oh, 50-50 kickflip out. We're getting better. We're improving at this game. If you're just joining us, another 50-50. We'll just spam 50-50. Let's see if we can do a board slide. Oh, board slide 360 shove out. See? Once you start to get a feel for it, it feels real good landing things, because landing anything's really hard. If you're just joining us, this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy, which is like the hipster alternative to Tony Hawk on the PS1. And the interesting thing about this game is it's way more of a skateboarding simulator. Doing anything in this game is difficult, and it feels... Can we... Oh, heel flip. There we go. I've beaten the score I need to beat, which means we can move on to the next level, assuming we don't get caught by the police. Because as we all know, skateboarding is a crime, and anybody skateboarding deserves to get tased. I'm going to try to do a 360 up one of those ramps. So how do you 360? Circle, backside 360. Okay. We'll do a full cab. Full cab up this ramp. That did not work. Ragdoll Physics on the PS1. I always thought that was amazing. Tased and taxed. I agree. Alright. Nah. Screwed that up. Wasn't there a Shrek skateboarding game? Was there a Shrek skateboarding game? There might have been a Shrek skateboarding minigame. Can we do a 360 off here? The 360s are like unbelievably slow in this game. It's not like your cool Instagram skater, no comply, instant 360 sort of stuff. It's like laborious. Alright, the cop's about to chase us. So here we get first-person cop cam, where you just gotta skate away, and then you get to keep your score. And then you unlock the new level. And then you get to see some very compressed skate footy. Just to transition over, why not? There's a Disney skateboarding game where you can play as Woody and Simba. Yeah, that game's quite good, because it runs on the Tony Hawk engine. Okay, here's some high scores, I suppose. Never mind, I dreamt the Shrek skateboarding game. Ooh, a sponsor select. I don't remember this. Who do we like more? Converse, DC, or DVS? I feel like Converse has stood the test of time better than those other two, so we'll go with them. Love your videos, mate. So many fun, obscure games you cover. Thank you. I appreciate that. No sponsor. Nah, I need that money. I'm not going no sponsor. I'm not Dylan Reader. May he rest in peace. Teal shirt. Ooh. What shoes should I wear here? Look at this. We'll go with these Converses. Those ones. They look like the Fremantle Dockers, which is an obscure Australian reference. Clear level ripped. Alright, we're going to New York. I'm New York in here. Wasn't there a GBA port of the Disney skateboarding game? There was, by Vicarious Visions. Which meant it really played like the GBA skateboarding Tony Hawk games. Converse. I like the floppy Converses myself. Find the best spots in the station for busting tricks. Extra tricks for busting. Busting. Extra points for tricking over the train. Just don't get hit. So right now, the Bloodhound Gang would be playing, or White Lines by Grandmaster Funk. Is that who did that song? Surely one of these gaps, you can do a 360 down. I'm going to get hit by a train if I stay here. So you kind of just explore the level at your own pace, which is something you couldn't do in Tony Hawk unless you went out to the main menu. You know, it feels very like this sort of... It's in phases, you know? Surely we can do a 360 down this gap. 360. How much height do you need to do a 360 in this game? I know it's a hard trick. I can't do it. Oh, no. Okay. I don't like this level much. I never really did. I think it's too, like... Here we go. Oh, no. Screwed that up. It's too, like... fake looking and big. You know? There's sort of nothing to this level. It's not really... anything. I don't know how to explain it. It's just too abstract to feel like a real skate spot. Big switch down that set. If you're just joining us, this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy. The alternative to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Let's see if we can do a 50-50. Huge. Kickflip out. Oh, lovely. I think the direction you're leaning in dictates which way you jump out of the rail. And you kind of need to let go of the grind button to press the trick button, which is awkward. Everything in this game's a bit awkward, but that's kind of part of it. Looking forward to Skate Story. Is that the one where you're like a glass demon in like purgatory or something, skateboarding around? Because that game looks amazing. Ah, as if I didn't land that. As if hitting the ground at 45 degrees sideways. Alright, let's try and start this run. I think I need to throw grinds into my run for maximum points. Alright, select. Let's do it. We'll do a 360 shove up here. That wasn't 360 shove. Alright, kickflip, board slide. Or not. Kickflip. No. I can't get the flip done before I'm high enough to the rail. Heel flip into a wall. Sounds like Ghost Rider, but skateboard, sort of. Oh, these ledges look fun. Board slide. Okay, I think I need to just get points now. Spam tricks. Oh, 360 shove up the ramp. Do a 50-50. Kickflip out. Onto... Oh, huge. Big air. So, like, stuff like that would be so... I guess trivial in Tony Hawk. Whereas here it's like landing one trick feels good. Frontside shove-its feel good. Kickflip out. Huge, huge. I don't know what score I need here. Let's get some nollie tricks in. We can do a nollie flip. Hang on. Nollie flip 50-50. Kickflip out. Oh, getting technical. Look at me go. If you're just joining us, this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy on the PS1, and I don't have sound because the sound broke when I started the stream, which is very sad, so I apologize for that. But there's normally fantastic music. Not the Bloodhound Gang, the Sugar Hill Gang. Don't know what happened there. Don't worry about it. Okay, I've passed the score threshold. Now it's a matter of just skating around until that cop appears, which is now, and then you just skate away. And you less the cop, and you get the score, and that's the flow of the game. It's simple enough. Tony Hawk is a far better game. But this game... Oh, okay. New tricks awarded. Tray flip. Ah, okay. So, yeah, at the moment, like, angled tricks don't do anything. They just don't register for me, so I guess you unlock them. Haven't done any grabs so far, so we'll check those out. But yeah, nice to have tray flips. But yeah, nah, this is Skate and Destroy. A cheesy PS1 game. It's annoying too, because before this stream, I set up auto ducking, which is like... And I was like testing it all morning. I was like, cool, look at me. I'm learning how to be a real streamer. And I set up auto ducking where... Washington Square, that's where we want to go. Where when I talk, the game audio goes quiet, and when I don't talk, the game audio gets loud, because I've noticed in some of my prior streams, the game audio is really quiet. So I fixed that. And then when I started streaming, the game audio broke, and here we are. Quietly. This game got the second-person camera thing going on before Driver San Francisco. Kind of cool. Yeah, it is kind of cool. This game is sort of ahead of its time. Another thing it does is... So here's the Washington Square level, which I think is in Tony Hawk. Isn't this that... Is this that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 New York level? Is this the same place? Anyway. What was I saying? Ragdoll Physics. This game has Ragdoll Physics. So we'll go crash into a wall here. And I'm not really sure how many... See, that's like real Ragdoll Physics. I'm not sure how many other PS1 games have Ragdoll Physics. So I think that's fascinating. Surely I can 360 off one of those. Alright, let's give this a whirl. There we are. First 360 of the day. We'll do a big one and try and throw in a grab. Well, I grabbed. If you're just joining us, welcome. It's good to see you here. I'm MiniMe, your host for this stream. I stream once a week for about an hour. Call me a big-time streamer. And this is Thrasher, Skate and Destroy. The hipster alternative to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It's much more realistic. Let's do... I feel so bad when you upload last couple of Q&A vids, because when I see how fast time goes from last vid, it's so awful. Before you make them so often, it wasn't as bad. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a new one in the works. Q&A vids are a bit of fun. Isn't this the game that turns into a second-person game when the timer runs out? It is, and you'll see that soon. Did Tomb Raider have Ragdoll Physics? I don't know. I don't think so. Much more realistic as a car phases through me? Yeah, anyway. Anyway. Down the bottom there, it says press select to start run. So we'll press that, and what will happen is we'll need to hit a certain score. So let's do that. There's a car. Let's do a 50-50 kickflip out. You really need to like think about the tricks you're doing before you do them in this game. Whereas in Tony Hawk, it's a little more blasé about it. I want to do a nollie flip in... Actually, we can do tray flips now. Oh, huge. I landed on a step and it was fine. Very realistic. We'll do a fakey tray. Can we do that? Oh, I don't have those yet. Okay. Fakey heel flip. Down the bank. Lovely. Kickflip board slide. Let's see if we can pull that off. You kind of... Oh. Alright, I probably need to start just focusing on my score. Alright, kickflip board slide. I haven't really landed a board slide because when you it's like when you board slide on a rail, you kind of balance in the middle of the rail, but when you board slide on a ledge, the sort of half of your skateboard is on top of the ledge and half of your skateboard is falling off the ledge. And this game surprisingly accounts for that. So you kind of have to counterbalance against the ledge, which is like pretty advanced sort of stuff, I think, for a PS1 skateboarding game. Here we go, here we go. Kickflip out, or kickflip back in, and then stack it. 50, that's impossible. Lovely. Alright, I need to... I've got 20 seconds to get the score I need. Can we just spam tray flips? I don't have it. I probably need like 1,000. And then here's the second person camera we're all talking about, where a policeman chases you and you gotta get away or you don't get your score. Because as we all know, American cops just tase skateboarders on sight. Real ones play Tony Hawk's Ride. Hi, Jack. Good to see you. My second time on stream, can't beat Jackie Chan. Yeah, that's a fun game. Jackie Chan Stunt Master, something everyone should play. But when you do play it, make sure to play it with analog controls, otherwise you'll stack all the tricks that you the platforming that you try. Alright. Let's try this again. Tray flip over the fountain. Huge, huge. Kick flip, 50-50. Cool. See if we can do a shove 50-50. Or front shove, because they're easier in this game. Ooh, I just did a power slide. I don't know how I did that. Anyway. Switch ollie, 50-50. Kind of magneted to it in a weird way. This game's clunky. See how, like, I grinded that ledge really weird because I entered it at a really weird angle? Oh, 360 shove it out. Lovely, lovely. I do remember this game getting super hard at some point. Not that it isn't always hard. Here we go, a rail. We can do a board slide on that. Or not. Because I entered it at a weird angle. Because this game is kind of amazing for a PS1 game. Here we go. Ah! And when you slow down, it's harder to balance. Like, everything logically makes sense in this. Kickflip, kick... I can't. I need speed. In fact, I need points, because I'm going to mess this up again. We'll do this. Nah. Alright. Board slide. Kick flip out. Or heel flip. That's fine. Risky. I agree. Tray flip. I need to say every trick before I do it, because everything in this game is so, like, considered. If you're just joining us, this is Thrasher, Escape, and Destroy, and the way this game works, compared to Tony Hawk, is you've kind of got to load up your trick before you do it. Whereas Tony Hawk, you just sort of enter the trick command and he does the trick. Oh, oh, oh! That wasn't very good looking, but it was hard. I think, yeah, I can get extra points here and it gives me a multiplier. So that's how I beat the level. It always impresses me seeing the old games that do stuff even modern games can't seem to do. Oh god, I remember seeing this in a Giant Bomb demo derby, and Ben's reaction when he saw the cop POV is one of my favorite Giant Bomb moments. Yeah, good old Ben. To be fair, everyone should tase a skater at least once in their life. It's like an anime attack, you gotta do the name for it to work. Yeah, it is a little bit. Okay, we've unlocked varial flips, stale fishes, and nollie trays. Nollie tray is a cool trick. So yeah. Here's some high scores. Let's see what the next level is. There is sort of like vert skating in this, and I hope that we get to see it. Because the game gets real janky. Like, real goofy when you start doing vert skating. Brooklyn Banks. All the iconic skate spots. American skate spots. Have you thought of ever covering the Barbie GBA games? Like, kinda. There's a game called Secret Agent Barbie that I've always wanted to talk about. You have 2 minutes. There is no cop. Ah, so this one's like a... There's no cop because this is an official event with actual skateboarding ramps. Alright. So let's see how the quarter pipes work. Maybe we can do a 360. Nah. Well, kind of. That wasn't a 360, but it called it a 360. And see how the movement works, how he just kind of like blasé pushes. It's just, it feels more like a real skating game. And you need to push in this game, which wasn't the case in Tony Hawk. There's the famous Brooklyn Banks. See if we can do a flip and back down and switch. Nah. Does anyone remember the game Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure? Only ever played the demo, but played it a lot as a kid. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that. That was a cool game. It ran on the Tony Hawk engine, so it was like... Because of that, it was good. You know? Alright, let's give this a crack. Judge's penalty. Stacking. We're not going to go well. Can we try again? Alright, we'll just keep at it. We'll do a 180 here with a grab. Oh, huge. Alright. Oh, 50-50 tray flip out. Beautiful. Indy. Can we kick flip in? Oh, how good. Tray flip, beautiful. Hope you're appreciating this wonderful display of skateboarding. It looks quaint now, but this game felt like you were actually skating at some point. Thoughts on Sunset Overdrive? Sunset Overdrive is a game I don't like very much. Oh, that was meant to be a tray flip. How come I only got the judge's penalty once? Maybe it's only for the first stack. Sunset Overdrive, I think, is... not nearly as good a game as it should be. It's my controversial hot take on Sunset Overdrive. Let's see if we can do a... Can we grind this, ollie into that one, and grind that one? Another judge's penalty. Why do I only get those sometimes? Fuck you, judge. Tray flip. I keep like pressing buttons from EA Skate. Like I keep trying to push with square whenever I'm mid-switch. Because this game sort of flows the same as EA Skate, so I keep thinking like my mind is combining them. You need to practice more. Okay. Yeah, Sunset Overdrive, I think, is... the controls are too sticky, the movement's too slow. The sort of vibe is a bit annoying. I think if Sunset Overdrive was more snappy, like you kind of snapped to rails and it didn't feel all gooey and gluey and like, you know, magnetic all the time, I think it could be a really fun game. But as it is, I think Sunset Overdrive is like a little too just sort of... I don't know, it just kind of feels like you're floating through the whole game and nothing feels good in it to me. In all the ways Tony Hawk feels good, Sunset Overdrive feels sticky and gross to me, but, you know, that's not the popular opinion. Should we try this competition again? It's so hard. Alright, we're giving it a whirl. Here we go. That was meant to be a 360 flip, but we'll make it an indie grab. Alright. Ollie, grind, kick flip out into the bank. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So far, so good. Tray flip over this thing. 180 up here with the grab. Cool, cool, cool. No judge's penalty for me. See if we can tray flip out of a grind. Lovely. up onto the bank, which would be extremely difficult. Ah, bloody judge's penalty. That's so rude. This game's hard, alright? Give me a break. Do a giant ollie. And another one with a grab. There we go. Tray flip over this thing. Lovely, lovely. Throwing in a nose grab here. Let's do a nollie flip. Nollie flip into 50-50? Yes. Maybe some nollie tricks will get me. Can we do a nollie tray? Or not, just a normal tray. Anyway, continuing. I really need to focus here. I'm not reading chat. I just want to beat this level. I think I remember getting stuck here as a kid, actually. On this particular level. This game just gets real hard, real fast. Oof. And like every time I've tried a board slide, which I would argue is almost easier than a 50-50, I've stacked it. Like easier in real life, that is. But we'll try it again. No, guess not. No game audio. Yeah, I apologize for that. It just stopped working. And I think I know how to fix it, but to fix it, I'd need to restart the stream. So, sad days for game audio. So I needed 12,500 points. And that was a pretty good run, I thought, and I only got 9,400. We could be hearing Rapper's Delight on loop. And same with White Lines. Was it Grandmaster Funk who did that song? I don't know. Who is judging this? Where are the other people in this game? People are saying Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is fun, sort of a spiritual jet set radio. Yeah, I want to try it. The Bomb Rush Cyberpunk's interesting because, like... Ooh, that was interesting. It's sort of... Nollie flip. Beautiful. Nollie flip indie. Maybe I just need to do flip tricks, grab tricks. Maybe that's the tactic here. Like that was 2 grabs. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, I think, is a curious game because it's so similar to... It's so similar to, Oh, I'm not even doing a run. It's so similar to Jet Set Radio that, like... Is there a point where a game is, like, too much of the same aesthetic again? Is there a point where that can be, like, a negative? It's like, should they have come up with something more original? I don't know. Just a thought I have when I look at games like that. Games like Back 4 Blood. It's like... It feels a bit tacky when it's exactly the same game as Left 4 Dead, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too judgmental. Let's try this again. Nollie tray. Big opener. Normal tray. Nice grab. See if we can do a kickflip 50-50 here. And tray flip out. We gotta really focus on doing... Sick! I agree, that was sick. Kickflip, indie, a classic trick. Switch ollie into dying and ragdoll flipping the fuck out. Tray flip over this. Do another kickflip indie. I'm probably repeating the same tricks. I imagine that looks bad to the judges. We'll do a switch shove, or whatever that was. God damn it, this game's hard. I can't do this judge's penalty. Thrasher's the original skate game. THPS made skateboarding arcade, but it's what got the sport international. Yeah, like, I don't think I'd... Like, the reason I skateboard in real life, or at least did as a teenager, was because of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, because it's... That game was just a huge deal. And a lot of my music tastes are dictated by Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And I think, like... Bloody judge's penalty. So rude! It's such an incredible run. Can we do a nollie flip into... No, it's too big a nollie flip. Massive. Alright. As if. This game's cruel. We'll keep trying. I felt this was a pretty good run until they started giving me judges penalties. Yeah. My first Tony Hawk game was Tony Hawk Shred, and I turned out fine. Most didn't. I'm so mad they didn't remake Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. It was my favorite. The 1 and 2 remake was great. The 1 and 2 remake was fantastic. Alright, let's give this another crack. Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 is a sad indictment on capitalism. Because that game is so good. And apparently it was the best-selling Tony Hawk game ever. Like, including the era of Tony Hawk when Tony Hawk was huge. Because, you know, gaming is just such a big industry now. And yet... Activision Blizzard decided it was still more worth it to them. Even though Pro Skater 1 and 2 was this enormous seller, it was still more worth it to them to just make more Call of Duty. You know? It was like, this game was a success, but you know what would be even more of a success? Call of Duty. And I think that presents like a strong argument for Microsoft buying Activision. Not that I think that's a good thing, because, you know, market consolidation isn't good. But, like, if Activision are just gonna make Call of Duty forever... Fakey Flip Indie, huge, huge. Surely this is the run. Then is it better for Microsoft to buy them, so at least they can bring back Tony Hawk and bring back all their other IPs? I don't know. But yeah, Tony Hawk's 1 and 2. Maybe my game of the year that year, honestly. That game was so good. I'm slowly getting better scores here. I need to get 1,250. Will that get me there? No. Look how close I'm getting. They put skateboarding in Metal Gear Solid 2 though, so come on, put it in COD, why not? I agree. Imagine Call of Duty multiplayer, but everyone is skateboarding. Imagine. Like, Call of Duty multiplayer is so fast-paced. Just put them all on skateboards. That year was all Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 remake and Hitman 3. That would have been 2021. Or 2020, maybe? Probably 2020. What year was that? Was that 2020? Is it bad I've never played the Tony Hawk's Underground games? Everyone says they're so good and I've never tried them despite really liking. No. But the Tony Hawk Underground games are very reflective of the era. I feel like Underground 1 captures skateboarding culture really well. Or at least the sort of like, you know, counterculture, early 2000s skateboarding vibe. And Tony Hawk's Underground 2 is like a window into the American TV channel MTV. It's like MTV, the channel. It's like it's very bizarre. Underground 2. It's almost like a Jackass game instead of a skateboarding game. I feel like I've already screwed up this run. I had such a good run last time. I don't even know if I bailed and I still didn't get the right score. Varial flip. Backside grab. The ugliest trick in skateboarding. A varial flip. Yeah, nah, I've fucked this run up. It was 2022. It wasn't 2022. Those are lies. Hitman 3, early 2021. That makes more sense. Yeah, Hitman 3 was awesome. The new Hitman trilogy is incredible. And if you're just joining us, this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy, the hipster alternative to Tony Hawk. The cool kids were playing this. Everyone was playing Tony Hawk, but oh no, you're not like the other girls. You were playing Thrasher Skate and Destroy, which is more of a skateboarding simulator. Oh, judge's penalty. Why do they only penalize you sometimes? Cruel. Oh, kickflip grab. Cool, cool, cool. If we can do a kickflip, grind, tray flip, which we can't, then the game will say it's sick and I'll get heaps of points for it. Yeah, nah, this isn't the run. It was on Epic's Games first and released on Steam after. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, fair enough. Mistake forgiven. I'm just gonna noodle around and try this run again. Hi, Mighty FC. Good to see you here. Welcome. So you can't do late flips, you can't do stalls. Although you can kind of get stalls if you just sort of grind and stop. Skate here again. Let's just noodle around for a bit. Noodle around and chat. Ask me anything. AMA. Another game I really liked from 2020 was... hot take. The Last of Us 2 is a good game. I think probably 2020. Was Yakuza 7 2020? If Yakuza 7 was 2020, that's probably my actual game of the year. How many jobs have I had? Not many. Like 3? If that. Last of Us 2 is good, I agree. Yeah, 3 jobs. I haven't had a lot of jobs. Stick around in them for a while. Heckin' 7. Alright, surely I can beat this. Have you seen So I Married an Axe Murderer? I haven't. Why'd the character look like Kurt Cobain? Because it's the 90s. Do you watch the X Games? I watch the highlights. You ever play any of the Prey games? I don't like the original, but I enjoy Prey 2017. I tried 2017 and I didn't really like it. But I didn't give it much of... I didn't play it very much. I just kind of bounced off it. You know when you kind of play a game and the vibe's off? That's kind of how I felt about Prey 2017. Ooh, how much height did I get? The thing... Arcane games, like, as in Deathloop, Dishonored, and Prey 2017. And I guess Redfall, but you know, everyone hates Redfall. I don't really like them, and I wish I did because they're my kind of game. I really like Deus Ex 1. You know, I think that's one of the best games ever made. And these games seem in the same vein as Deus Ex 1. But whenever I play them, they just like feel gross, and the story doesn't interest me, and the aesthetics don't click with me, and I don't know, I should like them. It's same with BioShock. Like, BioShock is a game I should really like. I think System Shock 2 is a really cool game, and BioShock's kind of just System Shock 2. But for some reason, whenever I try and enjoy BioShock, and I've tried to play BioShock 1, like, probably like 5 times I've started that game being like, this is an all-time classic, I need to figure out why people like this. Every single time, I don't enjoy it. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. Something to do with the combat. Something to do with the fact you can just run around hitting everyone with the wrench for the whole game. I don't know. Like, the aesthetics in that game are amazing. But yeah. The story, and especially the characters and voice acting, are what bring down Arcane stuff as much as I love them. Yeah, maybe. It's really annoying because, like, I listen to, like, a few video game podcasts. Very nerdy thing to do. And whenever an arcade game comes along, aside from Redfall, asterisk with Redfall, they'll all talk about how, like, amazing time they're having in you know, Deathloop or Dishonored, but then I go and try them and I'm like, I cannot enjoy this. I don't know what it is. Something about them just feels real wrong. You know what game was too ahead of its time and would be real great in 2023? The last Red Faction? Yeah, kinda. Red Faction is a series, and and Volition games as a whole, so Red Faction and Saints Row. The problem with them is, like, both franchises just had an sort of identity crisis for their entire existence. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying just noodling around. This is what this game's for, just going back and forth, taking your mind off things. Because we all know the actual competition mode is way too hard for me. At least while I'm streaming. But yeah, Volition games, like, Red Faction 1 was this sort of amazing, corny tribute to sort of Paul Verhoeven comedy. Like, Red Faction 1 is a very funny game. 3 a.m. here and you're streaming, I want to go to bed, shit. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep you up. Sleep is good for you. So Red Faction 2, like, messing with the NPCs in that game is hilarious, the dialogue in that game is hilarious. The vibe is very Paul Verhoeven, laid back, RoboCop, cheesy, sort of, you know... Probably without the searing satire, but the comedy is there. And then... Oh, my fire alarm's going off. Okay, I think it's just a test. Yeah, it stopped. Alright. If I die in a fiery blaze... It was nice knowing you all. I'm glad this was the last game I played. Red Faction 2, like, took away that vibe. Red Faction 2 is a weirdly self-serious game. And just not designed... Red Faction 2 is just not that fun. It's like, it sucked all the fun out of Red Faction 1. And then Red Faction 3 feels like the popular Red Faction game because it had this, like, incredible destruction system that I don't think we've seen to that scale in any AAA game since. Which is amazing because it came out in, like, 2008 or something. It was this big, open, destructive sort of thing. And then Red Faction Armageddon took out the open world. And it's a good game, but, like... Why, like... Why, like, none of these like, borderline all of these games could be in different franchises and no one would bat an eye. The fact that they're all sequels to each other, and you can almost say the same thing about Saints Row, their other franchise. Not Summoner, which is their third franchise, which no one talks about, but, like, Saints Row 1 and 2 are kind of in the same vein. 2's a bit wackier, and then 3, like, turns it all on its head and sort of becomes this... It takes out all the earnestness that Saints Row 2 had. Anyway, this is Thrasher Escape Destroy, where we talk about other video games. So Saints Row 2 was a silly game, but it could pull off these sort of surprisingly earnest and heartfelt story beats. Whereas Saints Row 3 was like, we're gonna go all silly with it. We're gonna be a big GTA parody. Ooh, big 360. Far out varial flips are ugly. And then Saints Row 4 kind of took 3 to its logical conclusion, and then they were like, okay, we don't know what to do now, so we're going to put Gat in hell, I guess. I don't know if anyone actually played that game. I didn't. And then they made the Saints Row reboot, which everyone hated, except for me. I thought it was okay. But, like... Why do they keep messing with their sort of IPs? Like, they don't have to do this. Just make a new series. I don't know. Anyway. Favorite Mike Myers movie? I love Wayne's World. And I guess I have as MiniMe, as YouTube user MiniMe, I have an endearment to Austin Powers. But I reckon Wayne's World's my favorite Mike Myers movie. Did you ever check out Terminator Resistance? Is that the video game? Because I did a video on that, actually. And yeah, it's a really good game. Really good game. And they're making a RoboCop game soon, which I'm really excited about. It's funny, when I reviewed Terminator Resistance, it was sort of before the internet had cottoned on to Terminator Resistance being a good game. So I sort of had like not much, but like a little bit of backlash where people thought I was like paid off by the developers for giving the game a positive review. And then like, you know, how can this game that got 4 out of 10 on Metacritic be good? These YouTubers are just lying and all this sort of nonsense. And then like as time went on, people cottoned on to Terminator Resistance being a good game, and I felt very vindicated. I was like, yeah. Felt real smug about it. I was like, I told you. Love that fakey flip. Look how late he does it. Beautiful. Yeah, that new RoboCop game is by the Terminator devs. I'm trying to... I should email them and ask them for a review code. I reckon that's one I'd like to talk about in a main video. That video is one of my favorite ones you've done. Thank you, Kelvin. New Texas Chainsaw game doesn't look too hot. Is that the one with Nick Cage? I've never really had a red hot crack at that sort of, what would you say, like subgenre? That sort of like co-op asymmetrical horror themed genre of games. I've never really dug into those. Kurt Cobain knows his kickflips, who knew? Oh, that's Dead by Daylight. Okay, I'm thinking about something else. If you're just joining us, this is just me skating back and forth over and over again in Thrasher Skate and Destroy, which was like the hipster cool alternative to Tony Hawk, where it was a lot more of a skateboarding simulator. And I would be doing the main missions, but I keep failing at them. So now we're just chatting. We're just talking. We're just having a good time. We're kicking back, having a conversation. I don't like Dead by Daylight style games, not at all my thing. Yeah, I'm not drawn to them, but I haven't given them a real try, so I can't say they're not my thing definitively, but you know. The latest trailer for the RoboCop game showcased their recreation of the set so well. My only worry with the RoboCop game is the gameplay speed. He's a slow tank, but I hope it works out gameplay-wise. I'm interested to see if they try and encapsulate the satire of RoboCop in the game. You know? Because Terminator Resistance was a well-written game, but Terminator is not as much of a social commentary, I guess. Whereas RoboCop is very Paul Verhoeven, and that's kind of a vibe that would be hard to hit in a video game in the same way. Is this like the skateboarding version of that first level in Driver? That's not a bad comparison, actually. Sort of. There's no music in this game, haha. No, okay. What happened was, I tested this stream, right? And I even started doing audio ducking for the first time in this game. I was like, I need to up my production values in these streams. So I made auto ducking work, and then I switched to my, you know, this stream will start soon sort of thing, and then I started the stream, and then when I switched back to this scene, the audio cut out. So like, fuck me, I guess. Gamers are gonna be like, "Grr, they made RoboCop political." Yeah. That whole like they made Rage Against the Machine political sort of thing. Stupid internet people. If you're just joining us, this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy. I'm going to start another run here. Let's see if we can do it. Oops, started off poor. I want to do a kickflip, 50-50, tray flip out. And I just stacked it. Did you ever play Headhunter on PS2? That game is so Paul Verhoeven RoboCop to its vibe. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I did play it. I also played Headhunter Redemption, which I think is the sequel. Headhunter's hilarious, because it has like a full-blown open world section. It also came out on Dreamcast. I should do the Headhunter games. They're very like last minute 50-50. They're very of their time, those games. Very clunky third-person shooters with like driving missions. They sort of feel like what was that game? Everything or Nothing? 007 Everything or Nothing. Before that came out, we had Headhunters, whatever it was called. Headhunters, I believe, is also a hardstyle act. Yeah, nah, this isn't the run. Kickflip, 50-50 tray flip, or 180. That'll do. Sick. Thank you, game. Just need to do more of... I think 3-prong tricks get me the goods. So we'll try again here. Shove it. Ah, judge's penalty. I think I've already messed this up. We can just noodle around and talk to chat again. Always wanted to play the Headhunter games. They look so dopey. They are. Speaking of 007, did you play the GoldenEye re-release for Switch and Xbox? I did. I played it on the on Game Pass. It's a good time. It's a very sort of... You may as well emulate it. It's kind of a basic port. Willem Dafoe is the best Bond villain in the Brosnan era. I agree. Yeah. Been meaning to do more Bond videos on the channel. I want to do Everything or Nothing and From Russia with Love. I want to do the entire EA Bond run of games, because EA made the best Bond games, I think. I think Everything or Nothing might be the best Bond game. It and Bloodstone, and I guess GoldenEye, but GoldenEye hasn't aged gracefully. Everything or Nothing is just fantastic. That game needs a port along with Nightfire. Yeah, it's so good. And if you're porting Nightfire, you kind of have to port Agent Under Fire. I love how much useless video game knowledge I have. And I I was talking about this with someone the other day. Part of the reason I enjoy streaming once a week so much, like we're doing now, thank you for joining us, is because finally someone is like, the chat is here to talk to me about all my useless video game knowledge. If I start like just dumping information about EA Bond games on my real life friends, they'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was playing The World's Not Enough N64. Yeah, that's a good game. The Hitman developer's next project is a Bond game. It is, which is very exciting. And like, for years, like, I'm talking since like Hitman 1, basically, everyone's been saying they should make a Bond game. So for them to finally do it is lovely. Are you going to try Starfield? I am. I'm actually really looking forward to Starfield. It just looks so high budget. Is the mustache recent? A couple of years old. I enjoy the mustache. I feel like it's disarming. I feel like people see my mustache and it's an immediate talking point. It's like, ooh, rocking the mustache, I see. You're like, yep, sure am. Bro, the multiplayer for Agent Under Fire is insane. You kind of grapple like Spider-Man. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. So in Agent Under Fire, you kind of have this like direct line grapple hook you can do and just latch onto pretty much any wall. So everyone's just like zipping around the multiplayer. It's so... There's nothing like it. As much as I absolutely adore the new Hitman trilogy, it kind of bugs me that it seems like so many people act like the old games don't exist. I love those too. I agree, and I think that Hitman Blood Money... Sorry, I'm just taking my jacket off here. I think that Hitman Blood Money did a lot of things that I wish the new trilogy did. It had a lot of depth. Stuff like, in Blood Money, you could shoot open doors. So if you shoot the door handle of a door, it would open. And just little things like that add quite a lot of depth to a game like Hitman. And it felt like Blood Money had less sort of scripted events in it. It sort of felt a lot more free and open. Whereas the new trilogy, I can feel like it railroads you down it's sort of little set piecey moments too much. But, you know, it's a minor complaint for how great those games are. And Hitman 2, there's a Twitter page, or an X page rather. There's an X page. I think it's called like Y2K era PC gaming aesthetics. And at the moment, they're posting heaps of just little videos from different locations in Hitman 2. And it's kind of I'm talking about Hitman 2 Silent Assassin here, the 2002 game. And the aesthetics in that game are like crazy good. The game holds up visually and aesthetically in a really clean and beautiful sort of way. And I really think that Hitman 2 is kind of one of the best games ever made, really. Did you make a video on Nightfire on GBA? I didn't, but I've talked about it in my 5 graphically impressive... I've talked about it in 3 separate videos. In one of the 5 graphically impressive videos, in my GBA FPS games video, and in my 3D GBA games video. Look at me, I'm a treasure trove of knowledge. The cutscene of him leaving the rosary at the church is gorgeous. Yeah. That church hub area in Hitman 2 is just beautiful. That anathema level at the start is amazing. The St. Petersburg's level is beautiful. The Death at a Party level is gorgeous. It's just a really stunning game. The airport level I remember being quite good, where you go into the basement and kill that pizza guy. It's just, it took the ideas of Hitman 1 and just nailed them in a sequel. Do Australians say rosary? 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 I don't know. I don't know, honestly. It's not a word I say much. There's something about the texture quality. That's right. And I think it's like... I think it being like a PC first sort of game, it's kind of like Max Payne 1 and 2. Like, those games are gorgeous too because they were sort of PC centric at the time. Hitman Contracts is a bit of a letdown. It was cool when it came out because more Hitman, but in hindsight, it's just a greatest hits game. I agree. Hitman Contracts is one of the weaker ones. But some of the levels in Hitman Contracts are like really edgy in a way that I like. It's funny, I feel like the 2 edgiest Hitman games are Contracts and Absolution, and coincidentally they're both the worst Hitman games, but it's not the edginess's fault. Are you gonna see the Blue Beetle DC movie? I don't know what that is. I haven't played Hitman 1. How well has it aged? Poorly. If you're talking about Hitman Codename 47. Hasn't aged very well at all. Even at the time, I think it was sort of clunky, but people liked its concepts and ideas. It definitely feels like Hitman 2 is a massive, massive refinement on Hitman 1. And I think you can fairly comfortably skip Hitman 1. Unless, you know, you're into the history of it all. If you're just joining us, this is Thrasher Skate and Destroy, where I'm just sort of noodling around. Skating around, having a good time, having a chat. Real question, Splinter Cell vs. Hitman. Hitman, for me, easily. But Splinter Cell's cool. Splinter Cell had some great games. But I never played them as much. I always was way more drawn to Hitman. The vibe in Codename 47's Hong Kong levels is so dreamy. Yeah, they are good. Some incredibly bad voice acting in them, though. Which is all part of it. And it's funny that, like, the lead voice actor for Agent 47 remained as Agent 47 after the performance in that original Hitman game. Because they're like, some of his lines, like, are literally, like, I need to use the bathroom. I think he's like a Dutch guy or something. He actually looks a lot like Hitman, which is funny. Yeah, that line. Might wrap up this stream soon. But if you are just joining us, this is Thrasher's Skate and Destroy, the hipster alternative to Tony Hawk on PS1 that's a lot more realistic and hard to play. Every big video game needs a line like that. A man has fallen into the river, Lego City guy. I don't know that line. I feel like Deus Ex 1 was the gold standard for horrific voice acting. Just like racist sort of sounding accents, and JC's line delivery was hysterical. A bomb. It's a bomb. But anyway, have you played the Runabout series? Maybe even cover them. I don't know what that is. I'm going to Google this. Runabout game. Runabout 2, You Own the Road. Runabout is a series of destruction-themed driving games developed by Climax Entertainment. I don't know. I don't even know what this is. You'd think I'd have heard of it. Maybe it didn't come out in Australia. There's a handful of games from that whole era that just never made it here, and they're just complete blind spots for me. I honestly think that Deus Ex is a triumph of voice acting because it only has like 5 actors total, but it definitely doesn't feel like it. I actually like completely agree. And I think the bad voice acting is not a... doesn't detract from the enjoyment of it because, I mean, if anything, it adds to the enjoyment of it, right? It's all part of Deus Ex's charm. And I think it's why it's probably an impossible game to remake. I feel like that era was the golden age of funny voice acting. Another example was DMC1. Yeah, that scene where Dante is like, you were the one that was meant to be the destroyer of the light or some shit. Very funny. You're going to be checking out Alan Wake 2? I am, but I wish it came out physically. Because it's cheaper to buy games physically here. Which is dumb. Favorite movie franchise? Could be more than one. I love that this is just a chat. We're kind of ignoring this game. My favorite movie franchise... As dumb as it is, Fast and Furious is up there. And might be number one. I never claimed to have good taste. And I love James Bond. I know, sounds like I'm an old dad, but 007 James Bond franchise. Something I love about 007 is they never do like... They never cheapen the IP in a way that a lot of franchises seem to. Like, there's no James Bond TV show, there's no... You know... It's not tacky. Every James Bond feels like an event film, and I don't know, I like that about it. I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light. Yeah, that line is so funny. Have you played Blast Corps on N64? Oh, maybe? There's 2 games I get confused between. I think I have played both of them. Is Blast Corps the one where you're like a machine destroyer, like in a town fighting things? Or is Blast Corps the one developed by like DMA Design where you're on like a alien planet and you're a dude running around driving vehicles and sort of... I don't know. Thoughts on Deus Ex Invisible War? It's a very good game, but it's definitely a letdown. What are my thoughts on Invisible War? I think Invisible War is pretty good, and I think it's worth playing. And I think the criticisms people have against Invisible War are all valid. But it's better than those criticisms would suggest. Yeah, Body Harvest. Okay, I've played both Body Harvest and Blast Corps. Thank you. They're both interesting games. I don't know. I think that Deus Ex Human Revolution is fantastic. I couldn't get super into Mankind Divided. I felt it was too... It didn't really have a hook to me. It's from Rare, the one where you have to destroy buildings in the path of a runway truck. Yeah, yeah. That game's cool. It's weird. The thing I like about Deus Ex Invisible War is, and this will sound kind of weird. Oh, tray flip back 180. I was curious. Switch tray 180. The thing I like about Invisible War is the game engine. And speaking of disappointing sequels, Thief Deadly Shadows used the same game engine. And the way those games look with the sort of hard-edged lighting, I think is fantastic. It's kind of like Fear had a similar look. I just think that there's something about the aesthetics of those two games that blow me away. I always thought they just looked gorgeous. Especially Thief Deadly Shadows. I think that's a stunning visual game. Moody. Not a great game, mind you. The boss fights in Human Revolution, yeah, they're terrible. Can you create levels in Thrasher? You can't. I think there's a multiplayer mode where you take turns, but otherwise this is the game. Thoughts on Doom 3? I don't know. I don't really have a take on Doom 3. I think it's good. Hot take, Doom 3 is a pretty good game. Everyone kind of says it's, you know, not really a Doom game, but it's still a good game, and I guess I agree with that. Didn't mind the whole switch to your torch thing that it does. I like the way that like computer screens and UIs and stuff work in Doom 3, where you like walk up to them and just click on stuff. A few games did that back then. But the Doom franchise I don't have a massive love for, I guess. I'm not a boomer shooter sort of guy. The banks in this game are weird. If you're just joining us, this is Thrash Escape Destroy. The cool, hip, alternate version to Tony Hawk, where it's realistic and difficult and more of a simulator. But at the moment, we're just chatting. We're just talking. Is there only one level in Thrasher? There isn't. We can change level. We'll noodle around in one more level, and then then we might call it a day on this lovely stream that I'm very much enjoying. Thank you for joining me. Let's see if we can level select. Hometown. Washington Square was quite fun. But let's go back to the hometown, actually. Skate. This is kind of Skate on PS1. We'll do it. Oh, I don't think we can kickflip that high. Nah, too hard. Lovely's loading screen menus. Yeah, it was a different time. Does anyone remember those Tech Deck branded video games? I think they came on those. Do you remember those like GameCube-sized mini CDs? It came on those, but it was a PC game. And I think you bought like the Magnetic Man Tech Deck, and it would come with this PC game. That game was pretty fun. What about Quake? What about Quake? Do you like Quake? And have you played the Quake 2 remaster? Yeah. I haven't played the Quake 2 remaster. I've got it installed. I think Quake 1 is incredible. Am I misremembering the box art, or did Rockstar publish this? They did. This is a Rockstar game. I think Quake 1 and Quake 2, they're all quite yeah, Quake's good. Quake's good. Hot take. Hot take, Quake is a good game. the way the first Quake game still feels to play is so much better than like most FPS games that have ever been made since. And that is amazing. It just still feels, you know, it has mouse input. As long as you're using mouse input, it just moving and jumping in that game just feels so good. And I played a lot of Quake 3 as well, which is a lot of fun. Quake's a good franchise. I never did play Quake 4. It kind of looks like the Doom 3 of the Quake series. How did you fit the small CD into the tray? Back in the day, CD drives would have like they'd have like an indent in the CD drive where you could chuck another CD in the smaller bit in the middle, and it would read that. I heard of those tech deck games. They came in booster packs for the toys. Fun fact, the developers were screwed over by Yuji Naka because he stole their ideas for a Sonic game. I'm starting to think this Yuji Naka character isn't the nicest guy. The CD just goes in the middle. Most PC disc drives have a little groove in the middle. That's correct. Have you played the Shadow Man remaster? No, but I've played the original. Yeah, did not expect to... There are some random games that have been remastered. Like, you know, Deadly Dozen got a remake, but something like Rogue Trooper got a remake, or like Outcast got a remake. Like, the most random games get HD remakes sometimes. I want to get Starfield so I can recreate Dash Rendar and his spaceship. Shadow of the Empire is special to me. Good call. I love this game as a kid. Not sure if it's aged well. It hasn't aged great, but it's what it pulls off is still impressive considering the hardware. Forsaken got remastered. Forsaken. Oh yeah, that's random. Star Wars Dark Forces getting a remake. Yeah, like, it's so random. Like, I guess it's a good thing. Like, I'm kind of happy that, like, weirder games are getting remade over, like, more popular games, I suppose? But also, like, damn, am I tired of seeing remakes all the time. Feels like Night Diver carrying the 90s thing. Let's see if we can do a tray flip over those boxes. Yeah, Night Diver cool. That MVG guy seems like a nice fella. Like, they remastered the Blade Runner point and click as well. Alright, tray flip. Switch tray the boxes. Or switch flip them. That'll do. There's no gaps in this game. Stubbs the Zombie got a remake. It's so bizarre. It does... Like, I know it's cynical, and I guess it's, like, harmless to remake all this stuff, but it does give you that feeling like... Yeah, like it is lazy almost. I don't want to call developers lazy, though, because game development's very difficult, but it's definitely got that feeling of, you know, low investment, high return. Remakes are better than most of the overhyped, over-budgeted direct we get from AAA nowadays. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I'm that cynical about the industry, but it's certainly... AAA is certainly a lot more homogenized and less interesting than it used to be. And it's all about the indie scene, if you want variety, which is, you know, is good. But I do like high budget video games, and I don't think that's, you know, I don't think that's a bad thing. I kind of like the game preservation angle because a lot of old games are being kind of inaccessible if there aren't many copies out there, but I don't know. I don't like it when it's full price or not a full remake. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, I feel the same. I can kind of see it both ways. I can't, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, sometimes a AAA game will come out that is just incredible, and they just come out slower, and there's less genre variety, and there's a lot more service games, like live service stuff, which, you know, is kind of miserable. But there's certainly things like skateboarding games, perfect example, don't see them much anymore. Arcade racing games, you don't see much anymore. And generally, because, you know, budgets are so high and large video games are such a production, you just don't see big releases much anymore. And it felt like for the first couple of years of the current console generation, it felt like we didn't really get anything. Like, it felt like games just slowed down for a while. Microsoft released borderline nothing. And maybe that's COVID's fault. But it is indicative of sort of where the industry's at, I think. Make games silly again. That's right. Anyway, enough talking about video games in the industry. I might wrap up this stream. This has been Thrasher Skate and Destroy. Hope you've enjoyed it. That Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 and Wreckfest 2 look great, but I miss arcade races. Yeah, I miss Burnout. I actually think Need for Speed Heat is one of the best arcade races ever made, so it's not like, you know, modern games are always bad. Wait, can you fail a track? Does this game have Ragdoll Physics? It does. And it's kind of amazing, because I don't know many PS1 games that have Ragdoll Physics. Here we go. You ready? Look at that. Ragdoll Physics. Glitching out in all their glory. Bring Thrill Drive back. I agree. Do you know of Thrill Drive because I talked about it the other day? Or... Nice fun time in here talking about games no one else cares about. I agree. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for so much. It was amazing. Oh, you guys are lovely. This is one of the biggest highlights of my week. Not to get too sentimental, but like, it's a lot of fun. And I appreciate you joining me. And take care of yourselves. I'll see you all probably in a week's time to stream something else that's obscure that not a lot of people will click on because it's obscure. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Good.